Surprise! AJ Menendez here, untaped and tucked. And you probably can't see here, but we have a Gabby here, just being a pain in the horns. Okay. Susan Gutierrez of We Are One Voice, she created it, has repeatedly asked me to submit more video blogs. And believe it or not, I really am not all that big about being in front of the camera unless I'm in face. Once I'm in face, something in me changes. It's like, but from this point of view, I'm really not big on it. But every now and then, I like to surprise her. So, Susan, surprise! Whew! I haven't done one of these in over a year. But I want to talk about the progression of the disease. You know, I have to tell you that it tickles my heart when people will hear old stories, old Brooklyn stories, for lack of a better word, and they'll tell me, I can't see you like that. I don't believe you ever did that. Come on, you've got to be pulling my leg. No. They weren't pulling your leg. I literally, in the end, I turned into a tyrant. But like most people in the beginning, it was all about going out with your friends and having a good time and just getting wrecked and just having a bunch of stuff to laugh at. But the disease is very progressive, and by the time you realize it, it's almost too late. You're already, you know, up to your neck, and you're desperate, and you don't know how to get out of it, so you're afraid. You know, the disease definitely is progressive. In the very beginning, I was actually a very happy-go-lucky drunk. You know, I would go out and do them wild-ass things that people just jaw hit the floor. What did she just do? Streaking through my apartment complex, peeing in the front yard with my dog. You know, things of that nature. I was just crazy. But as the disease progressed, you know, it literally transformed me into a monster. I started drinking at a very, very young age. And so my whole life, it literally took my just damn 40 years. I didn't get sober till I was 40. I was out there for 28 years. So 28 years, the disease just progressed very, very slowly. And it turned me into somebody that I don't ever want to be again. You know, I was egotistical, and I was selfish and self-centered, and I was a liar and a manipulator, and I was damn near narcissistic. If it wasn't about me, I would turn it into it being about me. And unless you benefited me in any way, shape, or form, I didn't want to be bothered with you. Now, if you could benefit me, great. But then when I was done getting what I wanted, you were gone. And that's just the way it ended up being. And that's what the disease does to most of us. It's not like we just wake up one night and we're stuck in addiction. You know, if you really stop and think about it, it starts somewhere, and it very slowly at first. And then towards the end, it just hits you like a battering ram, and you don't know where to go, what to do. You're afraid, you're ashamed, you're all these things. And that just makes you want to run even more. Recovery is just as progressive as the disease. You're not just going to wake up one morning and be clean and sober. You know, I've seen a lot of people in recovery because I work with a lot of them, and I've seen them as soon as they get sober, they automatically expect their lives to be better, and, oh, this is it, I don't have to put in the work anymore, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. No, it's something that you literally have to do every single day for the rest of your lives. It is just as progressive, and if you work whatever kind of treatment that you are working for your own addiction, the more you work it, the better things are going to get. Even when things are bad. You know, I always say that My worst days sober are a million times better than my best night drunk. Life is still going to happen when you get clean and sober. Things are not going to become all kinds of peachy. You know, I'm going through a lot of emotional changes at the moment that really have me stuck, for lack of a better way to put it. And it's hard, and I want to shove shit down. And I want to put on my mask that says, don't need anybody, I can handle this on my own. You know, and that kind of attitude. And when my friends, and God love them, I love my friends to pieces because they're on me. They're constantly either text messaging me or they'll call me or they'll send me messages. They'll send me Reese's peanut butter cups through the mail to make sure that I'm okay. And there's that part of me that just wants to push. But I know if I allow myself to do that, my disease will come right back in and say, I'm back. And I'm not going anywhere. And I say this over and over again. I have another relapse in me. I don't doubt that. I'm not special. I'm not exempt. I'm not anybody's example. I'm a drunk and I'm an addict. And I just happen to get sober. And if I don't keep doing what I did to get me sober, I'm going to be right back out there and it's going to get worse. And I have no doubt in my system at all that if I go back out, I will drink myself to death. I don't have any doubts about it at all. I don't have another recovery in me. Because if I go back out, I'm going to hit the floor running. And the bottle is literally going to take over. No matter how bad things are, picking up a bottle or picking up a drug is not going to do you any bit of good. If anything, it's going to make a bad situation worse. And we're really, really good at that. We're real good at taking bad situations and turning them into things that are a lot worse. Mountains and from molehills and however it is that saying is. Please hold. Yes, I'm using my wife's really, really, really big lighter. She swears I can't lose this, but I can. I just haven't done it yet. It's all a matter of understanding the disease, understanding the progression of the disease, understanding the wreckage that comes with the disease, and the willingness to change it. Is it easy? No. I know people who have sobriety in their double digits that still struggle. The only difference is they struggle without the bottle or they struggle without the drug. They get through it and they move forward. You can go through whatever it is that you're going to go through, and you have to ask yourself, do I want to stay stuck or do I want to move on? If you allow yourself to stay stuck and you sit on that pity party and feel sorry for yourself and do all this crazy stuff, you're going to end up going back out. Again, I have been through 5 funerals in my sobriety. The last 2, if anything was going to do me in, it should have been the last 2. And the last one was my mother. I'm going through things in my personal life now that, on a mom's standpoint, has me going batshit crazy. But I haven't picked up. And honestly, I haven't even thought about picking up. Because, you know, I'll tell you, there have been times where it went beyond thoughts and I was actually tinkering with the idea and had to do that whole tug of war. There are those times. But I don't want to go back to being that person. I don't want to lose everything that I have been blessed with in my own sobriety. You know, I have been able to rebuild friendships, rebuild relationships. My relationship with my wife is absolutely, positively amazing. You know, I swear she comes from another planet because I can't figure out how the hell she put up with me. But she did. And we made it through. And so our relationship is on a whole different plane now, and she is, in my heart and in my head, she is the best woman in the universe. And that's just the way I see it. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. But my disease almost destroyed us. You know, I have stolen from her. I have lied to her. I have manipulated her. And I almost caused her to run. And she stuck by me. So I don't want to do anything to risk that or any of the relationships that I have rebuilt and repaired. There was a lot of wreckage in my life. And unfortunately we don't understand the extent of the wreckage until we get sober. But my life is manageable now. You know, even when I want to go back to my old habits of shoving things down and not wanting to show that vulnerability or that weakness, I realize that I have to, because it was holding that down and not showing all that got me to where I was. So you can keep doing all your old habits, but like I tell my students, you can't keep dancing with the devil and then expect, be confused about why you're still in hell. In order to maintain your sobriety, you have to make the changes. Period. Point blank, end of story. And you don't only have to change things once, you have to continue to change them. And you have to continue to maintain your willingness and your spirituality and everything that comes with being sober, because if you don't, and it doesn't matter if you're sober 1 year or 101 years, you still have to do the same thing day by day to maintain that sobriety. It's like if, and I said this when I was when I made the video at 5 years, it's like a cancer, you know. If I have cancer, as long as I continue to take the medications and do what the doctors tell me, my chances of being in remission are going to be elevated. But the minute I stop doing that, everything's going to go downhill, and you're going to end up circling that same drain. And let me tell you, every time that you go back out, it gets worse. It never gets any better. So you have to be the one to make that decision, and you have to understand that the disease is very progressive. You know, if you have your friends or your family members or just people who care about you in general, if they're starting to try to tell you that you may have a problem or that you're getting out of hand or anything along those lines, instead of shrugging them off and telling them that they don't know what the hell they're talking about and blah, 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 you may want to pay attention to them, because they're your warning signs. You're not going to realize it yourself. They are going to be your warning signs. If they're telling you that you're out of control, they're not telling you just for the sake of telling you. And if you can grab a hold of it early, instead of waiting until it has you so damn sunk that you feel it's hopeless, then do it. So that's pretty much the way that goes. You know, like I said, you're not going to just wake up one morning an alcoholic. There are 1,000 warning signs prior. You know, if you start to black out a lot and wake up in places and you don't know where you are or how you got there, that's a sign. Ding, ding. If you have multiple DUIs, that's another sign. Ding, ding. People just automatically stop talking or want to hang out with you. Ding, ding. You have to see the signs before you can fix it. And it's not something that just happens. So pay attention. When people are trying to talk to you, don't think that they're just being opinionated and aggravating, because that's what we think. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not hurting nobody but me, and it's all in good fun. No. Listen to the people around you that love you. Because if you don't listen to them, you're going to wind up losing them. So you have to decide that on your own. So that's pretty much it. This is AJ Menendez, Master Male Illusionist, signing off.